Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. And on Thursday today, and today we would like to introduce you to Mr. Kenichi Soki. She's really one of our favorite teachers that we had in at the Kirov Academy, and she's such a very bright spirit. And I think you would enjoy this show with Mr. Soki and Mr. Du. So I'll bring them in. Okay, thank you so much.
So, hi.
Mr. Soki, so nice to see you. I'm so happy. It is 11 o'clock and it's 10:30 in your time in Japan. And once again, I'm always still amazed with technology that you and I talking, that far away.
Yeah, sure.
But for everyone else, I like to introduce you, Mr. Soki. Really, honestly, I met Mr. Soki last October when we Kirov Academy invited Mr. Soki to Kirov to have a workshop, the residency, if you will, to spend a few days with us and
Yes.
to have an artistic exchange. And he taught some of the most beautiful class. And I met him. I met Mr. Soki in the studio, and I learned about you and for a long while, and but when I finally met with you, and I really felt there's an instant connection. There's a instant. We felt like we were friends for a long time, and this is the feeling
Yes.
that you only can have it. We'll call it chemistry. And then I understand a couple of things why about that. And I think you and I's background are similar, very similar. We
Yeah.
trained in a very similar tradition, and we shared or similar outlook to our work. And by watching your class, and it really reinstated my feeling that the class was pure Vaganova, beautiful, just perfect. It's like what you would expect from a master teacher. And I say, well, you know what? After your teaching, I say to the teachers, you know what? This is what I would expect for a master class. I think it is something different between master class and the regular class. Like what you would done in that 2 hours. You taught a full 2 hours class, full of information, the type of information that you didn't idle on one subject, but a broad range of subject. And I was sitting there, I learned so many things. So, after that, I looked at your history. You and I have the similar path, if you will.
yeah?
We had a tradition, we had a classical training, we had our tradition in our schooling. Then after that, we danced around the world. I mean, we danced with many companies, and we understood that aspect, the industry demand aspect of it. We worked with many different teachers, different directors, different choreographers. Then after your teaching, I'm looking at your teaching right now. It is so pure. So out of all that, you take all the nutrient, come back to reinforce your classical training, which is enrichment to me. It really is.
Wow.
And so it's a culmination of what you understood as a classical training, which is so important and somewhat, I think, is lost in a lot of schools. And I think there's one episode you talk about online is I looked at it and I was like, wow, this is exactly how I feel. It is a schooling difference between school and a company. And especially today, a lot of people online and a lot of students look at this beautiful finished dancers, how they taking a bar. And you were so perfect. You would say, you know what, students, you have to be careful because this is how they take a bar for their needs, for their body at that condition, at that point, the artistry, everything. So for you, your combination cannot be dealt the same way as they do because you're not them, you're a student. I thought that was so valuable. So just in case our students, some of our audience that missed that episode, can you elaborate a little bit the difference between the classical training, the school, versus the company class?
So much difference, so much difference.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, because when I was young, and I actually joined the company when I was 16, and I didn't like a bar at all.
Yeah, nobody
And
does.
nobody does, nobody does. And yes, that I didn't graduate like a national school, and the ballet school. Just I came from the private ballet school, the very little tiny little city, and I went to the Korea, just the Universal Ballet, which connected with the Kiro Academy, and yes, the ex-director, the Madame Dallas, Adrian Dallas, and also the director of the ex-director of the academy, and she saw me as like, what is happening? You're the basic. What is happening? Do you know the ballet? So I didn't know, but I didn't realize, because I dance as much as I just dance, and I can do the period in 6, 7, 8 periods, and what's wrong with me? I can do anything, but it's actually not. And finally, I stopped dancing when I was 31, because then I got injured, and then also that I had so many things to do, and I just no way. So I stopped dancing. And after that, I become a teacher, and I open my school. Then and I see the people. Then something wrong. Something going wrong. Then what is wrong? And I was thinking, okay, so I have to first, it's not the student's fault, it's my fault. So I have to change my mind. So then I went to the Korea, and it's called the Sanwa School. It's also belongs to the Universal Ballet. And I went to see the pure Vaganova, the system, the syllabus is perfect. And also I went to the Kiro Academy, of course, because my daughter graduated. And I see this class. So everything's so pure Vaganova, the pure. Yes, then the people that like, yes, the progress like this. So not like so it's the little it's like age 9, 10, 11, and 18, and fix it. Okay, so they join the company. So then I changed my mind, and I did honestly, I didn't like Vaganova at all, because the old Russian teacher that think, okay, so you turn in, so you cannot be a dancer. So I didn't like that. But now I do. Then I went to your academy the last year, and one of the teachers said, okay, so here's the United States, it's not Russia, so the many people come from the other countries. So that means that the teacher must realize that the type of the body type is different totally. So then we have to think that, okay, this girl too much turned out. So okay, this the one girl like this, the one girl the ball leg, so this that the one girl the hyperextension. So then I I was like, wow, that's a real training. And also the Mr. Do, the you as well. So everybody did take care of the kids so much. And I really appreciate that you invite me, and also I see the whole things and the new Kirov. And so that's why the professional, the students, they're totally different, because the professionals are already done, so they know that how to do control themselves. So it doesn't matter they do like this fancy steps and things, but kids cannot, because they're still learning. So and also I'm telling the student, not only my student but all of my student in Japan. So it doesn't mind if you see online that the beautiful professional ballerina giving the class, but it doesn't mind that you can see, it's fine. But don't do this, because it's totally different, because the ballerina job is performing, not educate the kids. So totally different. But for us, and we just retired, and we don't dance anymore on stage, and I focus 100% kids, not 100% our body. So it's totally different. That's the difference between like us and also like a professional ballerina. I don't against the professional ballerina. Yeah, they're just gorgeous, fine, beautiful. But our job and their job is totally different. So they have to understand. Yeah. So
And
that's my
we
opinion.
have to help. I think I think also you reminded me that we have to help the students to also understand when you see a finished ballerina to dance like that, they did not dance like that when they were 12 years old. They went to a perfect school. They had the best structured, disciplined training in order for them to dance like that. So sometimes I think it's up to our teachers to help students understand for you to, in order to have that kind of freedom, you have to make sure that it's structured, disciplined, everything is in the proper place. So I thought that especially important, this topic, Mr. Soki, today. We are at home, we look at the Instagram, we look at all kinds of classes. I also study other people, all kinds of classes. Classes being delivered by teachers, perhaps, and sometimes at home and sometimes at other environments. And I think for us teachers has to be diligent as well, because that information goes out. It is there for a long time. So every information goes out. If it's wrong or inaccurate, we'll have the responsibility. You'll have a problems for a young child to pick up those things. So I think this is the opportunity for everybody to do our part to make sure that the accuracy in delivery of the information, and for us to be as disciplined, as diligent as we can, so the students can have the best information. And that makes me want to talk about your online profile. And it's just content, perfect delivery, and also very important that each presentation is perfect. So one time I was like, Mr. Suki, it's time for you to go to sleep. I know it's 1 o'clock in the night for you there, but you're like, it's work. I have to make sure everything's edited. So for a lot of students, if the students just look at a product, when you look at the perfect product, a presentation, even writing, that I wanted the students and people to understand there's so much work behind it. There's so much work put into create that content first, then create how it was delivered. So I love watching all your social media presentations because I learn things from it, because this is for us to learn. Every time I don't just look at the pretty picture stuff, I look what people do well, and I also learn from people's mistakes. And I look at the situation, I was like, you know what, we can do better, and I shouldn't make the same mistake. So from my observation, there are 2 points, Mr. Suki, I love. It is beautiful content delivered in a professional way. Number one. Number two to me is most important is consistency. Consistency. Not having something so beautiful and then there's no follow-up, there's nothing. So your content is consistent. Consistency is one of the quality, and I think I want you to talk to us about, because I'm teaching students and other professionals like us try to leave an imprint of us. I think we're the same generation that we are trying to take a space in all time to make a difference. So how do we present ourselves in this virtual space, which is endless in space? Anybody, I see one of the students wrote yesterday was taking class from India, from far end world. So our space is the virtual space, which is the world global space. How do we present ourselves in the most effective professional way? Can you help us to some of your ideas, your tips?
Or like the one of my for example, like one of my students who went back from the Holland, he's in the Dutch National Ballet Academy,
Yes,
and so they provide the class every day. But he said to me, I have my tiny house, but the rest of the students from Europe is such a big house, it's such a big room, and they can jump, they can do everything. But me, and I have a small room.
Yes,
For them now. So that's why for this limited space, and and I try, because I do the online class most every day for my student, and some of the students has a big house, and but some of the students not. But actually, this Japanese house is such a tiny space. So that's why, and also like not like the fact. So it's like if you jump too much, and most of yes, there's neighbors, the complainers, the things. So especially in the night. So so that's why I try not to give the first. I don't give any the tricky combinations, and even the bar. And but before I teach the bar, and I film it myself, and I send it to them, and they learn it before we do the online. And okay, let's start. So because you know the step, you know the music, you know everything. Okay, let's go. So then I don't have to say anything. So much. I don't give any of the hundred informations. Then because they already got to know what they do. So that's why
so that's the preparation. You see, it's the work behind it. So you already send the content, already send the combination. That's my combination. You learn it before I come out into the picture, because when I come out, it's give you corrections, give you suggestions, and correct your things, not give you the combinations. So that is something really, that's great. And how do you make sure that your presentation, it is, first of all, it's not for you. One thing that I think it's very understandably that as a teacher, we are here for the students, right? So you are there to serve for the students. So sometimes I think that I'm looking at your content, I just feel like everything you said is directly what the students need. It's what they need at that moment, at home, in that environment, which is, I think it's important, not just to give another bar, not just to give another class, but what can they do at this moment? What can they benefit the most?
The most.
At that moment.
Sorry.
Like the space very small, for example. So what are you focusing on teaching the students when they have a smaller space? So you talk about simplicity in the bar, right? On the bar. And what else do you think they can take advantage of at this moment?
Alignment.
Alignment.
Nothing but alignment. Nothing but alignment. So then I explained it all the bone and the muscle and everything, and alignment. You know my class.
Yes.
So all right. So yes, the purpose thing. So then I explain before I start to give the class, and also the kids must understand what is how where is the correct place.
The internal, the bone structure, so they understand.
Structures, yes, they have to understand.
Anatomy,
so then, yes, then anatomy, yes. And I get okay. So just stand up in front of the camera, and if the kids like this, but because we cannot touch the. How many times we think, we would like to touch the body, but we can't.
Hard.
So we have to explain only the word. But not a complicated things. It's only the very simple words. Okay, so can you stand up? And purpose, this, that. So you understand. Okay, so next girl. Okay, go. Next, go. Next, go. Next. Like this. So then, okay, so now it's time to do plie. So this I did for the kids. I don't start immediately. Okay, so let's do the plie. No, we can't. So that
you have to make sure everything they understood. The work you do before the class, so everybody is on the same understanding. Then you go to the class, you focus on the alignment issue. because that's what we can do at home. We cannot practice period. We cannot practice ground allegro. We cannot practice coaching and variation.
No.
Yeah, so this is the opportunity to fix some issues that I think it is the source of the problem is alignment issue. The source of whether this leg goes out, is it perfect or not? It have a lot to do with the posture is before it goes out. And have a lot to do with if the jump is not adequate, if it turns not well, is the preparation, is the preparation of position, whether everything's in one place or not. So you focus on not the steps itself, but the steps before, which is the alignment issue, the before issue. So we're using this opportunity to fix those issues. So when they are go back to the studios, they can be stronger and move quicker and faster.
Yeah,
really nice, really nice. And I thought that also talk about act. Now I thought it was very interesting. Now I didn't think of that. I thought this was very interesting. Since we are at home, we're not doing anything. We cannot coach a variation about the PK turns, about the manege, about anything else. But what about the acting part? We can surely, right? To do that, can you share your experience with us about that a little bit?
Okay, so the first of all, there's the competition. It's called the Japan Ballet Competition. Starts from 2014, and one of the founders of the competition, she said, okay, so what can we do? What can we provide for the students? Okay. Oh yes, acting. So then, okay, so then see that the Instagram. So so let's have a fun with using this mind. It's okay. It's a beautiful queen. The thing, this one, and die and the swear the things. Then we did it, and it works, and the kids enjoy so much, and they posted on Instagram, and we were like, wow. They enjoy it. That's what we wanted. But
that's another thing that we can do. The students can focus on. Okay, Mr. Soki just talked about for all the students out there. Instead of focusing on the things that you cannot be accomplished at this moment, I actually always feel in the competition when we see those variations. Sometimes we see a clear lacking of understanding what is this variation is all about. Now, in the last week, we talked about the Giselle, the first act, that variation. It is much more to that variation than just the steps. Of course, it's a very difficult step. One of the very most difficult. You know, the first act that Giselle and look at the Albert and went back to start a beautiful variation, PK penché one. But what's missing is some students. When I see the competition, when I see the variation, they have no understanding. What is the mental state of Giselle at this moment? They see beautiful Miss Osipova do it, and they try to mimic. But that's Osipova. You're not Osipova. So, but I recommend to truly understand who is Giselle, in what condition Giselle is doing this step. Where is Albert sitting? Where's Albert? You go there. Albert sit down stage left.
I know.
We all know it. So when you go there, do a little curtsy.
Yes.
I see no clue. You know, you're looking at Albert doing the curtsy. So this is area that I think. So you're a judge. You're a jury member all year long. I mean, every single month. I see you. So one time you wrote me an email says this is what my schedule. I counted. It was like a 12 competition, like 12. You were like compete. So you have seen probably hundreds of variations.
Yes.
Now, do you see the lacking in the mind, the acting part and the artistry part from the dancers, because dancers are so focused on the turns, the jumps, the legs. Do you see it? My number one question: do you see I do that the lacking of the understanding, the artistic part of the competition, the variation? Second, what's your suggestion for students to learn? I mean, what is your suggestion besides coaching by the teachers?
Well, okay. So first of all, it's not the student's fault. It's the teachers, because teacher must explain everything, every single part of the what is going on. This is a story from the for example, the Giselle. Who is Giselle? How old? Where's he come from? The what kind of the house she lives, and what's the mother like? What's the mother's character? And what's the Albert like? The other Hungarian like? And who's in front of you, and everywhere. Then okay, so let's do the Giselle first. First act variation, and come on stage, and there's the mother here. So but some of them the misunderstanding, and the mother, please, but I told my kids, hey, come on, she's mother is not a court people, so why you say please? So just be more casual. And if there's an Albrecht there, so but you cannot kiss the Albrecht, because it's like she's so innocent, so she cannot kiss the Albrecht like this. So
I see all sorts of versions. I see all sorts of it. I see all sorts of it.
Yes, and then we see I see so many. All like
all sorts of it. I mean, okay, Giselle is probably 14, she's probably 14, 15 at that time. And she asked mother, please let me dance.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead. I know.
You know that. And she go like this. And all of a sudden, I say, fake smile, of course. Go like this. And then go to the punch like. And the true attitude goes, and smile and come on, be your character, please.
Giselle, consistent character.
Yes, consistent character, of course. And come on, the Giselle, she likes to dance. Her dancing is her life, so she doesn't have to worry about her technique. She can dance naturally, so can you dance more natural?
So this is perhaps a dance she has done every day. She's doing this dance. So the facial, the expression, inconsistency in facial expression. I see that too. Before the turn, they get tense.
Sure. So they have to understand the who is the right or like a right stage, like the mother, the left stage, Albrecht, and the people around. For sometimes the court people they're watching. It's a different version. So that's why now the teacher must explain which version the C dance for for example, I don't know, the royal ballet, and also like a Bolshoi is totally different. You know that it's like the Nora version or the Peter Wright version, different, so much different. So, and also the choreography is also the different. So the teacher must explain whole thing. So you can mix like, okay, so let's do from the Bolshoi, let's do from the I don't know, the Peter Wright, or let's do from somewhere else and mix it. And so then the kids confusing. So the teacher must explain everything. Also the musicality and and also the catching the music and the different from the choreography is also different. So the teacher must not mix the version. So this I could feel that nowadays. So they mix it. So
it's too much. It's too much because very likely you have a jury member. You have a jury member in watching this variation. They have done this hundreds of times, and they have coached many students. They've been coached by very good people. So if you, just like you say, if you mix like that so much, or you alter the combination too much. Let's say you do the right, you do 3 turns, You go to the left, you do a single or soutenu because we know right away you couldn't turn to the left. So that's another issue, that how much we allowed teachers allowed to make little alterations for the students. But in my opinion, if you do it too much, it doesn't look like this variation. It looks like with the same costume, same music, but you're doing a different, completely different variation. It's irrecognizable. So that part, and I think a lot of people needs to be aware of that. The jury member understands the version, and you know, you cannot change so much. So this is, I agree with you. The teachers have the responsibility to, before you even teach it first step, perhaps give the students some assignment to do. Like, do your research. What do you think? What do you think? Who is Giselle, and what Giselle you can relate to, right? How can you do your part to study this character, and making sure that you are fully aware who that is, and what can you do to make yourself become a Giselle? And I think that if you, I think, don't you think if we approach that way, it's increased the results? Because from very beginning, the students have a different approach to learning this variation, not just learning the technique first, then we talk about artistry. We learn about the character first, before the actual step, because that will change how she approached that technique. So what students can do now, so we talk about the teachers, we have to fully teach them what students can do to help themselves to further research the role.
It's a tough question. You know what? Because now it's you can see the YouTube, everything. So so because the teacher cannot control them, because then once they go home and they see the Instagram and YouTube or whatever, and okay, so I have to for example, I give it I tell you the one of example. I went to teach the variation, the private coaching, not my student, from the other student. Then something went wrong, and I was like, what is going on? And I said, I asked her, why you did like that? Why you acting like that? Where's the step come from? And you know what she said? YouTube. And the mother was there watching. I asked the mother, and is there any other? Your teacher didn't correct anything? And she said, up to you. And the teacher said, it's up to you, and go home and look at the YouTube, because I never done the Giselle before. I said, what? What? So
the first line of learning is YouTube, which is totally dangerous. If the child's 14 years old, too many options. It's just completely confused. If you type in a variation in ballet, it gives you a long list of options, and I don't think children have the ability to process that. You know, I tell you, I danced for Suzanne Farrell for 10 years.
Oh yes.
For 10 years.
I saw your film. I saw it.
For many years.
You're great.
Thank you very much. I learned so much. Not just the ballets. I danced many Mr. Balanchine's pieces. Ballets under
Mr. B.
Yes, under her supervision, coaching, and direction.
Wow.
You know, we're not allowed to watch any videotapes. We're adults.
Never.
We're not allowed. So if she teaches a ballet to us, she wants us to learn absolutely every single step from her. And she told us never, you know, back then we're not having so much, because not a lot of Balanchine's pieces is online. It's you watch YouTube, you see bits and pieces, because the age and also the control of the copyright or what have you. But she has the videotape. You know, we went to her house one time, and actually it was 9/11, because in New York it happens, and we all went to her house. It's somewhat as a shelter, just to be together because she wanted all the company to be together to be safe.
Yeah.
I was absolutely shocked with her video library. I was shocked. There was an entire wall of just VHS cassettes.
Wow.
Beautiful, organized, perfect. So when she teaches us the pieces, the ballets, she insisted that we learn every single step from her. That we're not really allowed to watching other steps. So there was times that I have done, let's say serenade, I have done many times. I have done serenade before, coached by other beautiful people. So I will somewhat, a little bit evidence of those kind of teaching, little bit evidence in the transitional step, perhaps in the facing, in the tempo, perhaps. She picks up immediately. She said, "No, I don't want that. I don't want that." She knows right away. No, I don't want that. I want it this way. It's. She's not saying that's wrong or that's right. No, she says, "I want this way," because this she want to bring back as original as possible, as original as she learned. So this is how her approach to professional dancers. So imagine that, nowadays, can you imagine that all students are just allowed to learn everything themselves? Here is a YouTube link, go learn the variation, go learn it, and then come back. And I think this is we are a little bit to think too much of students in terms of their own understanding of the steps. So I think everything needs to be taught little by little by the teachers before they can actually. I think it maybe take a little longer in time in the beginning, but I think it will produce better results. I agree.
Yeah.
So that's how, this is. I think we're on the same page with that. So take a little time in the beginning to fully let students understand the background, the character. And each step to understand different versions, their value to each versions, and the importance of keep the integrity to each version. So now you are a judge, like seasoned international judge, and I see at one point you were a jury member of Varna International Ballet Competition in Varna, which is absolutely
2012. 2012.
It is absolutely incredible. In China, this was the only competition for a long time that incredible.
Yes. Oh, wait.
Beautiful.
Yes. Yes, I have.
This was the only. Yes, absolutely wonderful. And this was the only competition in China. The ministry, cultural ministry of China, would send a team. Because they regard that's the Olympic of the competition in ballet.
Right.
And so you are obviously so experienced. So I want to ask you a couple questions related to that, because your knowledge can be so rich in for all students to understand. One of them is students' favorite variation versus most appropriate variation for them. So can you break it down? What is the variation selection process should be conducted? Is a student say, "Mr. Soki, can I do this?" Or you say, "You know what? No, do this." Where is the fine line between that?
Okay. For example, okay, so the boys, they want that's a Basilio, don't kill, for
You want to do
sure.
that.
However, they're like 7, 8 years old. A teacher, I want to dance the Basilio. I said no, no. And also like the the girls when they said, "Oh, teacher, I want to dance a Black Swan." No, definitely not. Definitely not. Because in the first, they don't have enough the basic skill. For example, like a Basilio, and anybody can dance. I mean, if you don't think it's like a basic skill, it doesn't matter if it's a turn in neck, but they turn like 10 periods, that's fine. So the negative thing is the kids can do anything. You know that, Mr. Dude. Kids can do anything. If they're smart, if they're physically good, and if they have a sense of the movement and coordination is okay, then they can turn, they can jump, and they can do anything. But please don't do this. Don't do that. Yeah, you cannot choose those kind of a variation. So then erase. Okay, forget it. Yeah, and for example, like a YAGP, the regulation totally changed.
Yes,
You know
it
that.
tells you.
Yeah. Since I think 2 years ago, and they cannot dance the Black Swan until the age like 14, and also they cannot like a Pierre Lacotte and the Pharaoh's daughter or whatever, and also like Frederick Ashton, never ever, and Mr. B, no way, and so then they have the limited the choice of a variation, but which is good. Because for like a pre-competitive division, like 8, 9 till 11 years old, they cannot dance like a Giselle Act 1. Come on, because they cannot do no point. It doesn't mind. They do like a half point. It's fine. Yeah, the soft shoes, it's fine, but it's not for them. It's not for them. So I prefer, like not like a principal role. It's a soloist. Yeah, for example, like a Giselle, like Peasant Pa, or like I don't know, and the variation for the boy, there's a Peasant Pa, or like I don't know, something like more easy things, and also lady as well. So I prefer that soloist, but not the principal, because the choreograph, the original choreograph, the created for professional dancer, not for the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, of course, but every variation is like this. But especially for the principal dancer, the world the variation is so difficult. I mean and also but the soloist is also difficult, especially like Cupid, the Don Cupid. So hard, so hard. But people think that the Cupid is a soloist, so it's okay. It's easy for kids. Yeah, it's cute, and it's not so much, not so many turns. And okay, so let's do. But difficult. So I honestly, I'm telling you, all of the variation is difficult for kids. So better not to give but you cannot change the choreography. So like this. So otherwise it's going like a neoclassic, the classical variation. But you have to may I show you the wait. I would like to show you the one of the the video.
Please.
Wait. It's hard to find. So okay, so talking because I stopped I started so you speak. Okay.
I agree with you what you said, because it's not necessarily, I think the technicality of the variation, of course, is there, but also substance, the character, the understanding of the character. Let's say, for example, Black Swan. That's a very complex person. And it needs a life experience. It needs not just a technical experience.
Yes, that's what I wanted to. Sure.
Needs a life experience to understand the eyes, to understand the certain port de bras, why is there, to understand this character in this particular moment. It tried to seduce the Siegfried. It's tried to make a presence at the time. The delicate difference, if it was danced by same ballerina, the difference between the first act and the third act, it is tremendous. So it asking the ballerina to do so much, not just technically, but artistically.
Sure.
I don't think a 14-year-old can understand that.
No way. Okay, so I found that. Okay, so I show you the bit of the. This is for the compulsory variation for the Japan ballet competition. Be choreographed by me. So Peasant Pa, male variation, age under 12.
Let's see.
Oops, sorry.
All right.
Sorry. Can you hear? Oops. So sorry.
It's okay.
Oh wait. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we can see perfectly.
So you know the original choreography.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, you see the difference. I mean and now they do the double tour, but we don't. I follow the original choreography, but we don't jump.
Yeah. But that's a good foundation, though. That is something that for them to understand.
You see?
Yeah, the camera.
Yeah. And double tour. And saute en arabesque. And assemblée. And sisson ouvert. And go. And tour and sit down. You see?
So what I liked about is the texture, the tempo, the understanding of the musicality, and the shoulder, the facing, and the demeanor. It's there, laid as a foundation for them. And I think this is beautiful because when the boys we learn double tour. Like yesterday, somebody asked how to improve a double tour. We don't just go ask students go up there 22 times, come down. There is a months of preparation goes into it. So I think your approach is beautiful. So when you learn learn a variation, there's for kids there's a development period for them to understand the variation. Their shoulder, their épaulement, the character is in those steps. So when you finally introduce, and I believe maybe there's another version a little bit closer to the real version will be introduced. Then by the time you introduce the real full version, the foundation is there for them already. Is that the purpose? Is that the purpose of what you're doing? Instead of just say, here is the YouTube video, go learn it.
No. No. No, we need a progress. Yeah. How can you do the double to like age 8, 9? Yeah, you can't. Dangerous. I mean, come on. But some of the kids who want to compete, and so that's why then we all the jury member was thinking, because we see there's so many Basilio like age 7, 8, and we were like, oh no. So what can we do? And what can we do? And so that's why we create like a compulsory variation. 3 variations for the girls and 2 variations for boys. And you also can do this, and you also can do the original one if they want to. But if they are not good enough for the original one, then our score is low.
It's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, no good. But some of the teachers, they don't understand. Okay, so this boy can do the double tool, so maybe he can do like a money, something like that. So the teacher sometimes change too much.
You can do it. You cannot change like that. If the child is not ready for this, it's like in each variation, there's certain things you cannot change. You have to. It's a signature. Those steps. So if your student is not able to do 1 or 2 of those elements, translate to he or she is not ready to do that variation. So therefore, you have to pick a variation that at this moment to technically, artistically, they're appropriate for them at this moment. And you are the one going to coach the elevate, the technicality, the artistry of that variation. That's your note. But you cannot just pick a variation because the students like it, and you change so much about the variation to become irrecognizable, and you let them do it. And every judge, every jury member can see it. I also can see whether this student is well coached or not. I can see it right away. When they walk on stage, I can see, is this coached or not?
Sure.
Before they even dance, I can tell. This child learned this variation through YouTube. They learned it themselves. They've never coached or coached some, but not really, not the kind of coach that you and I thinking it should be done, or the teachers from QF Academy. Literally, it's like building a little sculpture in every single step.
Yeah.
And I think this is the way it should be, because the working process itself is more valuable than that 2 minutes on stage. The preparation part itself, they learn so much of it. So if you completely just skip the coaching part and you just tell the kids to learn themselves, and then you kind of just package it together and send it to the competition, you have no chance, because the judge knows.
No chance.
Yeah, that's my experience. I have not judged jury member as much as you have, but I have sat in the panels and I see this, and I was like, I can see it right away. You spend very little time, and also hair, makeup, costume, shoes, everything. And I even see sometimes the costume doesn't match with the character whatsoever. It completely doesn't match. So I see all that
everywhere.
Yeah.
The poor kids.
The poor kids. It doesn't match. So this is again, it is a teacher's responsibility, and I think a lot of times,
100%.
a lot of times teachers at a dilemma, Mr. Soki, and especially the studios. You know, America, you understand, we have mini studios. We don't have those national schools. You know, we don't have it. American ballet scene is composed by hundreds of, not, I think it's thousands of private studios, right? Each private studio once in a while produced the star, one of the best dancer, and then go to summer program, then selected by the best school in the world, then they become, and that's the ladder goes up. But when a student come to you, said, I want to do some variation and please help me, for many reasons, I think deep inside, sometimes the teachers or the director of the school knows it's not appropriate at this moment for this child to go to competition. But sometimes we're afraid to hurt the child's feeling. Perhaps the child will go to another coach, another school would facilitate this urge. So you are the school owner, you own your own school, you have your students. And how do you approach to this very sensitive subject? How do you approach to your student that you know they're not ready, but they wanted to go to the competition?
Well,
it's very sensitive. I want to ask your opinion, because I get that challenge. I have that challenge. I know, I know that when I see a student is not ready yet, but sometimes I feel like, okay, the process itself could help the students. Oftentimes I allowed to do it, but how do you do it if you see students are completely not ready?
Okay, so for example, if the student come to me and I want to do the confession, and so call the mother and call the parents. Then I call the parents individual interview and more than 1 hour, and I ask them, so do you have your daughter that has the other activities like instead of ballet? And if the parent said yes, then Monday swimming, Wednesday or Tuesday football, and Wednesday the English, whatever, I don't know, and piano, and Thursday piano. And I said, so your daughter comes only twice a week the ballet class, and I don't think the better not to compete, because the competition is totally different from comparing hobby ballet. So your daughter seems like a hobby ballet, but the competition is very tough. If there's only the twice a week, and your daughter started ballet like age 5, and now your daughter is age 7. So then anybody can compete now, like from like age 5, 6. Actually, they can compete like age 5, 6. So but I don't think so please think about that, and please understand this ballet is very difficult and it takes time. So if your daughter wants, Tom, so your daughter, if your daughter really wants to compete, so can you come like at least 4 times a week, please? Then we see the progress. Then if this is ready, then let's go. But if not, better not for your daughter, not for you, your daughter, because there is a lot of pressure. So then also I call the student who want to compete but they're not ready yet. Then I explain everything. So okay, so do you understand how to turn out? And do you understand how to play? So do you understand the combination? So do you remember my correction? Do you all remember my correction? And of course he said no. Then okay, so if you start to do the variation, we have like more than 1,000 corrections, and also you have to prepare yourself. And so please take a time. I understand you really want to compete now, but you are not ready yet. So okay, let's work together, and maybe next year or maybe 2 years later, we don't know. But if you're ready, I said, okay, now you're ready. So let's do the variation. So this is my school system. But also if the student is ready, and also however the student is ready, is like the basic skills, okay, that he's smart and he's working hard 6 times a week. Even though I call the parents and we do have an individual meeting, and I ask the parents that your whole family are agree to the computer competition. If even one of your family, like a grandmother, no, my daughter cannot do my granddaughter cannot do the competition because it's too much competition, and she has to study, and etc. If even one of the one of the family disagree with this, then I said no, whole family must support
and
the kids.
agreement.
Yeah, agreement. Yes. So even one of the grandmothers said, no, my granddaughter cannot do the competition. Yeah, no, because she wants to. Yeah, I want her to do the piano. Then okay, go to the piano, not the ballet competition. So that's because people don't realize. Okay, I want to compete, and because YAGP, and they compete and they fail it. And do you know what they feel then? And that's why then I said I explain everything before I decide. Okay, you compete, you not. I explain, then they understand. Then my studio is fine, no problem.
So
that's
I got it. So you take everything into consideration and you bring the family into agreed on a commitment. The commitment of fully support the structure, the timing, the schedule. So you have all that set up before you decide the next course. So yeah, that's very nice. That's very beautiful because we know that the parents has to be a team.
Yes.
I always never, in some schools, the attitude toward the parents are very different each school and from each teacher. And I know teachers that does not want to have anything to do with the parents, and the parents not a part of it. My thinking is it's impossible. It's impossible. You completely exclude, and it's not right. If the child's a man, it's a minor. It's a child. If we completely block the parents' input, influence in our work, it will become an obstacle at one point. So I prefer, like you, I prefer that everybody's on the same page. Everybody is in the same picture, but the parents is not going to tell me which variation she should do. Of course, there's a boundary there, but they have to be informed. And I think they're entitled to be informed. And as a part of a decision-making process, because you need their support. They are going to be the one drive the child to your school. They're going to finance the competition. They're going to do a lot of work. So there's it's impossible to completely exclude them in the process. And in the meantime, asking for their support, whatever the decision that we make. So my approach to working with the parents are somewhat different, I have to say. In a lot of American schools, and my approach is different. I like to include parents as a part of the team, as a part of a structure. because they're entitled to it. And first, and if they pay this much tuition to the school, they're entitled to know what is the plan. And if this plan is somewhat according to what they have visualized, and it's great, because if it's against what they are visualizing or they're thinking, at one point, the problem is going to come up. It's going to come up in a time that the most unexpected, and that's not helpful. That's great, and I agree with you on that 100%. What are the essential qualities? Now, we this word essential. Now we have essential workers, allowed to travel right now because we're under lockdown. That's just a side note. Everybody's on the street in America. I don't know in Japan. In China, just very different. But in America, and I see the roads on the street literally like traffic jam. But they're supposed to be essential workers only. I know none of those folks are essential workers. So, but anyway, talk about essential. So, what are the essential qualities that you are looking for when you're judging a student's performance? Essential. I'm talking about if there's three things you're looking for in this 90-second variation. What are the three most important qualities that you're looking for in this performance?
Well, the three points.
If three things you're looking for, what are those three qualities? I know there's hundreds of different things, but I'm talking about essential, the most important qualities. If you talk about three, for me, I would think the overall presentation part of it. For me, it's very important when you even just walk on stage, because I'm busy, like you understand. I'm very busy. I'm writing the comments. I'm writing the score sheet from the previous one. So now I see you walking on. If that entrance does not capture my attention, I look down again. My head may not come back up again, because I already made up my mind what job you're gonna do. Just by the entrance, by how you walk on that stage, I already made up my mind about how am I going to score you. So this is how brutal. Because I study judges. I bring the students to competitions. I sit in the back and I see the judge, how they behave. And when I'm judging, I actually study myself to see whom I want to see, and to see each variation. What made those students' performance makes me want to continue watch every second of it. It's impossible. You look at it, you got to write. You will write something, and you look up again. But there's some students, Mr. Soki, I put my pencil down. I put it down. I took my head up. I watched the entire thing, just because her or his entrance, the way she looked at the audience, the way she did her first presentation. I put my pencil down. I want to watch the whole thing. Some dancers, when they walk in, maybe they did 10 turns. I completely missed it because I'm not interested, just the way they walk in. So can you share some of your thoughts on this? Because it's very, very important.
Okay. Remember the master class in the last year, and if you come on stage, one foot, other foot, then I see everything. So you remember that.
Yes,
you remember that. That's also the transfer the weight is if I see that. And okay, she felt it, or maybe so she can turn, she can dance. She knows. So then I see that this is the number one. So I see first, and also
just
like
walk.
Just walk. This is fine. Then I am not a fortune teller, but if I see the two step, then I see like I got a vision of the participant. Okay, so now she comes, she felt, she might be felt, and turned in. Okay, now she does the 3 periods, but she felt it. You see, because she does this, she's rolling and she's turning and she no coordination and for the manage. Okay, so I don't think she can. I don't think she can. I don't think she can. Oh,
You can see it, yeah.
poor,
You can tell it's
poor,
coming.
poor kids.
Yeah.
Okay, I mark like 67, something like this. So, but for example, you said it's 3 points, but
Three
it's
things we're
our
looking for.
three things. But we have to the Japan Ballet competition. We have 20 categories,
Yes.
and we have to judge 20. So this I'm telling you. Okay, so wait. Okay, I'm telling you. So okay.
You have
So
things to check off. You
20. I'm telling you, qualify. Okay, technical limit. Turned out. The position of the hand, position of the foot, port bra, coordination, and knee, and the point, and the direction of a body, and fingertips, and head. So that's the what the criteria of the technical agreement and artistic. Okay, so okay, so wait. Expression, musicality, and the posture, and the clarity, and understanding role. This is very important for me.
there you go.
Understanding role and the mannerism on stage.
Yeah.
Very important. Yeah, and also the costume, headpiece, and makeup, and potential.
Yes.
Nothing but the potential. I see them and even they have the wrong choreography, wrong the understanding role. If they have a potential, it's not the kid's fault, it's the teacher's fault. So that's why I try to see the potential and also try not to give up the on stage. Yeah, sometimes if they come on stage like training like this, smile like this, and all of a sudden like then say no. So because the audience, as a jury member, see these kids can be the professional dancer. However, so you have experience.
The potential is important.
The potential is important because if some of the choreographer comes in the company, the guest choreographer comes and they see, or maybe she can do this because it's so challenging.
Because
and
what they saw is the potential.
Yes, that's the potential. That's the potential. Not only the kids, also like a professional dancer, the choreographer wants to see the potential. So for me, if I have three things, the one is like
presentation, walk on stage,
presentation. And it's included the mannerism on stage because and also like a potential potential. There's certain things like I try to see them inside of the heart, how much they love to dance.
They love. You can feel from. You can feel from certain students. You can feel it.
Yeah.
You can.
If I see their eye, then I completely
beautiful.
Immediately, So these three. Yeah.
So this is very interesting. Three things. Almost none of them are directly related to specific technicality. You never mentioned turnout, extension, how many turn you did, what trick you did. You mentioned mannerism. You mentioned the soul, the love, and you mentioned the potential. That is beautiful. That is really beautiful because this is, I think, the whole purpose of the competition is identify the potential. The future, like a YGP, is the future of dance, to ensuring the future of classical dance. So ensuring the future is to identify the potential of now. So we can facilitate, we can give scholarship so they can move forward in the way that we saw it could happen to the child. Very nice for pointing that out. It's a very beautiful way to put it, and I think it is important for us teachers to recognize, to not just work with the students technically ready, but see a little further to see the future, to see after the coaching whether this child have a chance or not, and to see the inside, not just on the surface, but inside of the child. That's really beautiful. Actually, that's very surprising, and I didn't even, if you ask my three things, it would be somewhat a little bit different. But I think you're just because you've seen it so far, you've seen it so many years, and you've seen it in so many competitions. For you to truly understand, the purpose of the competition. And I think I believe this is a new trend toward how we approach competition. Pre-Lausanne, already they don't give out gold medal. They used to give Grand Prix, the gold, the first place, second. They don't. The language is very different. Now it's a scholarship. It's purely based on scholarship. You get this scholarship. So the award, the incentive is not just getting a medal. It is associated with the scholarship to schools. And I think the Pre-Lausanne was always like that, but they even changed the wording of it. You don't see it, and which is all indicates that people are pointing into a direction where competition and associate to a educational, how should I say, educational center point for all the students to gather, and the competition then organize itself for more students to have the educational opportunity, further their education. And I think YGP has done really great, now to providing the educational content. It's very important. Thank you for that. It's very very. Talk about competition, because this is one thing I really wanted to pick your brain with it. What are the benefits? What are just the benefits? I think we talked about this already, but what are the benefits to participate in a ballet competition? Number one, I mean, we know about the opportunity to coaching and hone in, and to use a block time, work on something very specific. And my next question is important. Any tips for overcoming the disappointments of not winning or not being placed? Because kids destroyed. They are,
I know,
the flip part of it.
kids.
And I know sometimes kids are not going to place well, because I know the competition, I know the level of it, and we can do research of the previous competition. Those people who were placed at a certain level, their level, against to the students. What do you stack up against? So as a teacher, we kind of know which students gonna get something, which students no chance. But you can't really tell students that, look, you're not gonna get anything. You cannot do that before you go to the competition.
You can't.
You cannot do that, because they destroyed.
Never ever.
They get destroyed either way, because then after they get it, so they have the confidence. They wanted to win.
Yeah.
They wanted to be placed well. At least they wanted to be a top 12. They wanted. And if the result is not there for them, I see students really depressed. Some of the fare better than the other. As a teacher, and I just can't stand to see kids get hurt, especially. I know that's gonna happen. I know it already. So I'm conflicted. I don't know what should I say. Am I gonna say, I know already, I didn't have hard to tell? Of course, I'm not going to say that. So how can what is your experience to help kids overcome the disappointment and move forward?
Okay. Okay, I'm telling you, because the first competition was age 15. Before I joined the company, I felt it. and I joined the company when I was 16, and I should come back to the Japan because then I should graduate the high school. So that's why then I went back to Japan before I rejoined the company after I graduated. But before that, I had like a 1.5 year in Japan, and I had nothing to do. So I I compete, and I failed it. I didn't even get the final. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I was already a professional, and I compete and I failed it. And I didn't do any in the competition. And when I was 25 years old, I was already professional in Austria, and I went to the Varna competition, and I got the diploma. That was my first diploma. I was 25. I was a professional, and so I didn't get any diploma when I was a kid.
Before.
So yeah, that's why then I told the kids who didn't get anything, and hey look me, and when I was 15, something like that, and I explained. But they still the depressing. They would say, "Oh, I felt it, because I got the first place in last year, and I didn't get anything this year." And I said, "Hey, look." So the question, the do you remember the winner of the Prix Rosan 2 years ago? Tell your name. They said, "No, I don't remember." So how about last year, fifth place Prix Rosan? Tell your name. This is it. No, I don't remember. Then I said, "You see, you like to dance and you love the ballet, and you know the Prince Rosan, and you know all of the dancer, but you don't remember who won the prize, and who even you don't remember the 2 years ago who is the first place in the Prince Rosan. You didn't remember. So that means people don't care about that. People don't care who's the winning, who's not. Nobody care. But one thing, audience remember however they don't remember who the first place, second place. Oh, 3 years ago, Princess Aurora. I don't remember the name, but she
But
comes
she was
from the
beautiful.
United States or somewhere, but I don't remember the name. But we never forget her dancing because it's so beautiful. They remember those things, but they don't remember. They definitely forget who is the first place 10 years ago, 20 years ago. No one remember and no one care. So just girl, remember this is gone. So you just think that you just stuck yourself like, okay, no, I didn't get to win. I lose it. No, I was not a good dancer. No, forget it. Forget everything. Forget the competition. So let's come back in the studio tomorrow. Okay, promise. So this is
Yes.
the experience. Yeah, this is what I say to kids. That's it.
That's very good idea. That's very good idea. What do you think? Just I think little time off. I think it helps. Just a few days, just for them to sort of. I always feel use rest, reflect,
Oh
resting
yes,
and
sure.
reflect.
Sure,
So
sure.
kids recuperate, but I think sometimes it is helpful to have some time off because the coaching, the leading up to the competition are so tense, and the competition itself. And if they placed well, it's one thing. If they didn't place well, it's another layer of intensity. And I think sometimes I just suggest, okay, just go away and rest for a few days, then we talk again. And I think that the little distance, that's my
Oh
oftentimes
yes.
I feel it's important, just to
Mm-hmm.
disengage a little bit. And I also
Mm-hmm.
tell the students, learn from the mistake, especially
Oh
the ones
yes.
that placed well. I
Mm-hmm.
did the last year, and I was placed this and that, and I didn't do anything this year. And I often tell students, do a little study
Mm-hmm.
and come up with analyzation of why,
Mm-hmm.
instead of a very upset, but
Mm-hmm.
be very clinical, be like academia. Just write it down, few things you think
Mm-hmm.
you didn't do well, compared to what last year. You and I knows the environment changes every single year. Every single year's competition depends who goes in there, depends who is the judge, depends what the school is like at that moment. Have a lot of different elements into the placement. But students, all they see is I thought I did really well. Why I didn't place well? Or they see something like I saw somebody is in the top 12, but she failed. She didn't do well. Why? She's in top 12. I'm not. Those questions very difficult for teachers to answer.
Typical.
Very typical questions. You know, I didn't. I should have done this. I should have done that. So I think I always wanted to students to learn something, even from. I think they learn more from the failure, from the mistakes.
Yeah.
And so it's up to us teachers to bring them back stronger and not let them just slip it away. But it is nonetheless, it is hard for I've seen emotions. It is hard.
Yeah,
So, Mr. Soki, what are you focusing on now? What are you working on now? So we are expecting, you know, everybody is a different stage of pandemic, different stage of it. And actually, I always said that, you know, what do we do now? It's truly the preparation for 3 months, 4 months, even 6 months from now. Whatever we do now, it will be reflected and judged a few months down the road. So what are you doing now to do the current work and in preparation of the opening, in preparation of somewhat normalcy that when kids go back to school? What is what is your current interesting project to share with us a little bit?
Now I'm thinking the founder of the Japan Ballet competition, she got some ideas to. Of course, we do have the work. We have the competition, but not only the competition. We try to do like an online workshop. Jury member is given the workshop, and online. And if the situation change the good way, then maybe there's a half of the students online, half of the students is in the studio at the same time. So then that's our plan. So now,
So it's you come up ideas to in terms of how to conduct competition with the online version.
Online version, right? Yes, online version as well. But not sure yet, but maybe because we never know. We never know what's gonna happen. Actually, in Japan, it's okay. Now, but I don't know. Because it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be the hot summer, so maybe the virus is going away or something. But in the autumn and the winter, it's gonna be come back. So we never know. We never know. So that's why we try not. Okay, so now it's the virus is go away. So okay, let's come back to the studio. Everybody, no. So we do online. And at the same time in the studio, if something happened, okay, so don't come to the studio. Okay, let's do online. So okay, so we do the both. Yeah, this is my plan now.
This is very similar to our plan. You know, we have to. QF Academy has a huge summer intensive each year. So I am designing a hybrid version of combined online and in-person training. And I hope it's going to work because we all have to change. Even just, you know, the situation change every day. So today we hear different language. Tomorrow it will be another set of directions. And I think that we as planners, like as you are and I am as a planner, that is responsible to making plans are flexible enough to change, but at the same time create a direction, create a framework. I call it a framework.
Framework.
So this framework will allow us to expand, allow us to change. So I, just like you're thinking, I don't want to set a block of decision does not have any flexibility in between. So it is challenging, but I think it can be done. Like how we decided to do all 5-week summer intensive. A lot of your beautiful students are coming from Japan under your suggestion, and I totally appreciative with it. So we'll create a situation will allow students to travel, but under some kind of quarantine, not just wasted time in 2 weeks quarantine, but we supervise how they're going to be quarantined. We have some kind of monitoring situation under all supervision, and at the same time, they learned online or virtual classes while in quarantine.
Yep.
So they don't waste the time, and that quarantine is somewhat meaningful because without all supervision, that quarantine is useless because there's no way we can monitor how they quarantine. So this is somewhat QRF's plan. 5-week intensive. First 2 weeks will be considered a quarantine period where they learn the virtual classroom content provided by QRF Academy. We plan their day as they quarantine. Then between the third to the 5th week, that 3 weeks slowly transition into in-person, but it will be strict social distance protocols, everything. So I think we can come up a way to facilitate, and I think we can. It's challenging for us. A lot to think about. Of course, it's governed by the government, the policy. You know, everything we do, we can just imagine. But this, you know, just like you said, if that doesn't work, we can always scratch that. We can just do this.
Flexible.
Flexible, being flexible is enough. So if I have any suggestion with it, because I have emails from students every single day, because
fantastic.
Students want to come back. Students wants to come back to the studio. They want to come back to the studio.
Of course.
It is very hard. Has been very difficult, and I actually applaud all students because adults, we have all experience to control ourselves, right? We have the experience to understand, okay, this is just a temporary, and we can do things, make sure ourselves are motivated and move forward. But for kids, even for teenagers, it's difficult for them. It's very hard for being at home isolated from the world for 3 months. It's very difficult for them. It's the iPhone and Instagram for 3 months. It's difficult. So I wanted to figure out a way that both first has to be safe. Second, create a middle ground, not just black and white. And it's something middle ground. So everybody can
gray
area. Gray area. Yeah.
Gray area.
So it seems like you are thinking the same way as how we think about it. I mean, we have meetings often with the QRF leadership, but also we feel the same way about this. Well, you know, Miss Soki, it's I hope it's late for you there over in the night. I mean, you're like 12 o'clock over there. And I know, yes, I know how busy you are, and because I see you. At one point, I said, like, Mr. Soki, don't forget to sleep. I know you love to work, but you have to
workaholic.
You know, I see you
but
like
you too, Mr. Dude.
Yeah, I know. But I see you, you know, I see you 2 o'clock in the morning, your time, I see you still working. I'm like, Miss Suki, it's time to go to sleep. But yes, we're all doing our job. And I appreciate your absolute support and friendship to me, both me and the QRF Academy, and third to Ballet, to all this lucky student that you have in Japan, all the students that you recommended to QRF, they're all just beautiful. And I just wanted to tell you my great appreciation for your support and your friendship. Hopefully that we will see you. We'll see you in August. We'll see you in August. You know, for everybody.
Yes, I know.
Mr. Soki is one of our teacher for QRF Academy's summer intensive. So we will be seeing him either virtually or in person. So
Yes.
I am really very much looking forward to your
Okay.
presence in school.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Thank you so much.
With that, get some sleep, Mr. Soki.
Okay.
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 Thank you so much for the
Bye.
beautiful conversation. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I talk to you soon.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
I'll email you.
Okay.
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 Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Okay. Bye
Bye bye. Thank
bye.
you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye,
Bye
Josh.
bye. Bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you.